Praise the Lord, everyone. Brother Roop here. If you're my subscriber, thank you very much. God bless you. If you like these short videos and devotionals and Bible videos, go and subscribe and ring the bell. We're continuing the book of Acts, Acts chapter 18, verse 17. Let me go ahead and read it. It's kind of a funny verse, but then again, it's not funny. But it's definitely a very interesting verse. Chapter 18, verse 17. Then all the Greeks took Sosthenes, the chief ruler of the synagogue, and beat him before the judgment seat. And Gallio cared for none of these things. So, Sosthenes, just give you some context, what we're talking about. The Jews in the region wanted to go after Paul again. Paul was just constantly being chased by these people, by the Jews. He was in Corinthians, preaching and teaching in Corinthians, starting a church in Corinth. The city of Corinth didn't have a lot of Jews. They had a Jewish population, but they had a diversity of people. About a third were retired Roman soldiers. So they had a large port there, shipping industry, a lot of sailors walking around, a lot of bars, prostitution. It was a very rough city. And Paul was there preaching. There was a synagogue in town, but apparently it was a small one because Jews from the region came to riot and bring Paul before the judgment seat of Gallio. Now, Gallio was a Roman governor, not Galileo. Now, Galileo was a scientist who had discovered gravity. Now, this is a different guy, Gallio. He was the brother to Seneca, which is a very famous Roman philosopher. And it's probably how he got his job. But history tells us that Gallio was a very laid-back, very kind, very professional guy. He didn't let the power go to his head. So the Jews brought before him, saying that he's teaching against the law, meaning the Torah. Well, Gallio told him, look, this is a Jewish matter. This is between you and your Jewish authorities. Why are you bringing him to me, a Roman governor? Because he dealt with Roman law. So Gallio told him pretty much, hey, look, get lost. This isn't the place for this. If it's between you and religion, you got to take it somewhere else. So that's what his judgment was. Apparently, the Greeks in the audience and around the judgment seat, the courthouse, per se, were incensed by what Sosthenes did to Paul, bringing him on charges of religious charges before a Roman judgment seat or court. And here, verse 18, verse 17, chapter 18, verse 17, it says the Greeks beat him as he left the building. The original Aramaic says Gentiles, the Gentiles. So these were non-Jews, non-Christians, but they were incensed that the Jewish leader would drag a Jew for religious reasons to a secular Roman Greek judgment seat. And so as he left the room, they were beating him with their fists or anything that was lying around. And it's interesting. It must have been a horrible day for Sosthenes, but it's interesting that in book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 1 and 2, Paul addresses Sothenes as if he's his brother, Christian brother. So it looks like this event was an event which would cause later for Sothenes to convert to Christianity. And so for the Jewish synagogue leader in the city to convert to Christianity would be a very, very big victory for the Apostle Paul. And apparently that's what happened. So, you know, to crack a hard nut, you need a nut cracker. And sometimes to soften your skull, you need a good beating. You know, you need a good beating to soften you up, to receive the gospel or anything else. If you're too hard-headed, you'll never receive the gospel. But God has a way of softening you up so that you can receive the truth. And God's not afraid to use wicked Gentiles to accomplish his deeds. And apparently that's what happened here. So it's kind of funny that Sothenes would have to take a beating that day, a physical beating. But it's funny because we know that he got converted later, and it was all for his benefit, his long-term benefit. So, but it's sad for any kind of physical violence to happen. But physical violence doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing in the long run. Now, it's a bad thing in the short run, yes. But a bad thing in the long run? No. It doesn't have to be a bad thing in the long run. And apparently it wasn't here for Sothenes. Thank you, and God bless you.